Universal elements in communication. An analysis of the communication process suggests two basic features about communication in general. The presence of some universal elements in all human communication. Use of symbols. All communicators use verbal symbols, signs such as words, body movements, facial expressions, and so on to encode and to decode messages. The mental filter. All communicators or receivers of messages have to register, organize, transmit, receive, and interpret only through their minds that are uniquely structured and set with varying filters which consist of their entire experiences, thoughts, and feelings. Some basic facts about the nature of communication. To understand communication better, we should know the following basic facts regarding its process. Perfect communication is impossible. Human communication is essentially imperfect. All our communication, encoding or decoding acts are conditioned by the fact that a common mental filter is not humanly possible. Meanings differ because filters differ. No two filters are alike. No two persons, therefore, involved in the communicative act can perceive the same meaning of a message sent and received. What they tend to have is a workable understanding. Besides filters, the fact that the symbols used for communicating are imprecise in their associative meanings further contributes to the imperfection of communication. Choosing correct symbols to encode an idea or through thought or feeling is not an easy task. We tend to often pick up imprecise symbols for encoding. This tendency increases the chances of wrong interpretation or miscommunication between the sender and the receiver. Moreover, even the same symbols put in different order or sequence may change the overall meaning. Therefore, both the parties, the sender and the receiver, should possess the same level of ability to interpret the meaning of the symbols or words and their structure, that is, the order in which they are used. By now, it must be obvious that meaning is in the mind and not in the symbols. Symbols are arbitrary signs, except onomatopoeic words. They have no intrinsic meaning. They stand for things. They are not the things themselves. Their meaning is conventional, commonly shared by the people belonging to a linguistic community. But this literal meaning is something that lies printed on the pages of a dictionary. Communication, on the other hand, is a living act performed in specific contexts in particular situations and with a definite goal, that is, your purpose in mind. And thus, an effective communicator creates new meanings of symbols or words by structuring them in strings of images of his mind, that is, his mental landscape. Understanding this fundamental aspect of communication can help all receivers to look for the meaning of words, that is, messages that the sender must have thought of when he chose them to communicate with them. They should not be satisfied with the usual approach of "I think it means." Instead, the receiver should search for what they must have meant to the sender. Personality communicates. Walt Whitman, in his famous Song of Myself, poetically brings out the dimension of personality in communication. Of his poetic process, which is an act of communication. Whitman says, "I celebrate myself and sing myself, and what I assume, you shall assume, for every atom belonging to me, as good belongs to you." In fact, communication in its final analysis can be seen as projection of myself, how I think, feel, believe, perceive, and respond to reality. In fact, communication in its final analysis also is a mental representation of reality. Symbols of communication symbolize the perceptions of the communicator, varying in import from person to person. To be effective as audience receiver, we should go with Whitman and practice what I assume, you shall assume. In communication, this process is known as empathy, the power or the state of imagining oneself to be another person and also sharing his ideas and feelings. Empathy is needed not only for listening, it is also a necessary state of mind while encoding. to be able to realize the audience, that is, your receiver's expectations, fears, emotions, needs, levels of learning or knowledge, and above all, the state of mind. It is only through this reciprocal empathy that we can effectively communicate in different contexts of life and work.